Have you ever wished for something so much that you forgot to appreciate what you already had? In today's story, we'll explore a timeless lesson about gratitude and greed through a beautiful old folk tale called The Fisherman and the Golden Fish. It's a story about a poor fisherman who catches a magical golden fish that offers to grant him wishes. At first, he's content with his simple life, but his wife's growing greed leads them down a path of endless desire. By the end, we'll learn that happiness isn't found in getting everything you want, but in knowing when you have enough. Now, let's dive into the story. Once upon a time, by the edge of a vast blue sea, lived an old fisherman and his wife. They were very poor. Their hut was small and broken, their clothes were worn and patched, and most days they barely had enough to eat. Every morning, the fisherman would go out in his tiny wooden boat and cast his net into the waves. Some days he caught a few small fish. Most days he caught nothing, but he never complained. He would smile gently and whisper, "The sea provides what it will." One calm morning, as the sunlight danced on the water, the fisherman felt a sudden pull on his net. He struggled to reel it in, and when he looked, there it was, a golden fish, shimmering with light. To his amazement, the fish spoke. "Please, kind fisherman," said the fish, "let me go. I am no ordinary fish. If you spare my life, I will grant you one wish." The fisherman's eyes widened, but his heart was pure. He said, "I don't want anything from you. Swim free, little one." And he gently released the fish back into the waves. When he returned home, his wife was waiting outside their broken hut. She frowned. "What did you bring today?" He told her about the golden fish that could talk and offer wishes. Her eyes widened, then narrowed with anger. "What? A magical fish? And you let it go?" she shouted. "You foolish man! You could have asked for something to help us." The fisherman lowered his head. "I thought it was enough to do a kind deed." But she would not stop. "Go back to the sea. Ask for a new house right now." So, reluctantly, the old man returned to the sea. The water was calm and quiet. He called softly, "Golden fish, please hear me. My wife is not happy. She wishes for a new house." The sea shimmered with light, and the golden fish appeared. "Go home, fisherman. Your wish is granted." And when he returned, there it was, a beautiful little cottage with white walls, red tiles, and a small garden full of flowers. She was delighted. This is more like it." For a while, they lived happily, but not for long. Soon, the wife looked around the cozy cottage and frowned. "This place is too small. I deserve something grander, a palace with marble floors and servants." The fisherman sighed. "We have more than enough." But she shouted, "Go! Ask the fish again." So he went back to the sea. The waves were darker now, and the wind had grown cold. He called out, trembling, "Golden fish, my wife wishes to be queen of the sea." The fish rose from the violent waves, its eyes sad. "Go home, fisherman. You will find her where she belongs." Then it vanished beneath the storm. The fisherman trudged back through the rain, heart heavy with fear. When he reached home, he stopped in shock. The grand palace was gone. The servants, the gold, the jewels, all gone. And there, on the same patch of sand, stood their old broken hut once again. His wife sat outside in rags, crying softly. The fisherman placed a hand on her shoulder and said gently, "Maybe now we can live in peace." Now, let's look at some key words and phrases from the story and how you can use them in real English. First, the phrase grant a wish means to make a wish come true, usually through kindness or magic. You can say, "The fairy granted his wish to see his family again." Next, spare my life means to let someone live or to forgive them. You might hear this in stories or movies. "Please spare my life and I'll tell you the truth." We also heard reluctantly, which means doing something even though you don't want to. For example, he reluctantly agreed to help his boss on the weekend. Another keyword is greed, which means wanting more than you need, especially money or power. For example, his greed destroyed his friendships. The opposite of greed is gratitude, meaning thankfulness or appreciation. You can say, practicing gratitude every day makes you feel happier. We also saw the phrase content with, meaning satisfied or happy with what you have. For example, she was content with her simple life by the sea. Finally, be careful what you wish for is an idiom. It means that getting what you want might not always make you happy. When you combine these ideas, you begin to understand the deeper message of the story. When desire turns to greed, even magic can't bring peace. So, what can we learn from the fisherman and the golden fish? Sometimes we dream of having more money, more success, more comfort. But real happiness doesn't come from more. It comes from gratitude, from kindness, and from knowing when to say, "This is enough." If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who loves learning English through stories. Because every story we tell helps you grow your vocabulary, your understanding, and your heart. See you in the next episode of Learn English with Stories.